Hey, so this video I'm going to show you how to create a vertical calendar. So I got asked by one of my subscribers if I could show them how to create this lovely area down here where it automatically creates a vertical calendar instead of just like a mini calendar like this. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very simple to do. If you're like, nah, I'd rather just buy the template, I do have a link to the template. I do sell this as a template. So you can check that down below. But otherwise, if you want to create a lovely vertical calendar so that way your customers or yourself, if you're using the spreadsheet, can just add in the different tasks for each day here. What you're going to do is you're going to need two or three different areas actually. So I've got one column here, and this is where I'm going to put the actual numbered dates. And then our second column is going to be the days of the week. And then our third column, or actually I've merged a whole bunch of columns together. These are for the task of whatever they want to write. So let's say on the first, it's Sarah's birthday. And they can just fill out that information there. So what you want to do is make sure you have those three columns available. And now the first thing we want to do in the very top left corner, this is where our first date is going to be. So this is for January. I want to make sure that I add in real dates. We don't want to just do 1, 2, 3, 4 because that isn't real dates. We want to make sure that if we're adding in conditional formatting later, that we actually have a real date inside of these cells instead of just basic numbers. In order to do that, we're going to have to do a few things. We are first going to create a date. So in here, I'm going to double click in and we're going to use the formula date. So equals date. And then I'm going to put a left bracket and it's going to tell me exactly what I need to enter. So this is just me being able to write the actual date. I need to know the year, the month, and the day. So the year, if you want to make it flexible, you could just select somewhere else where it has your year. Like so in this specific spreadsheet, I do have this year right here that automatically updates based off of another area. Or you could just literally type in the date here, so or the year here. So if I wanted to, I could just write in 2026. It just means it's not a very flexible date. So if I do update my spreadsheet later on, this date won't update based off of the year. And I want it to update based off of the year. So I'm just going to select wherever I have it where it shows the current year. Right here, I already have it. So I'm just going to select that cell that already has it in there. I'm going to lock it in by using F4 on my keyboard. So I put my dollar sign and before the column as well as the row number. And that just locks it in. So that way, when I drag down this formula down to the rest of the days for January, it's not going to change where it's referencing the year from. Now I'm going to do a comma, and it's now asking me the month. So I know only January is going to be in here, so I'm safe to put the actual month in here. But you can also, if you want to make it more flexible, you can reference a different area that has the month, but the month needs to be in a number format. So it needs to be 1 for January, 2 for February, 3 for March, and so on. So I already know this is just going to be for January, so I'm just going to put in 1 as my month because that's for January. But again, you can reference another cell if you want to make it more flexible or fluid, up to you. And then I'm going to do another comma, and because it's the first day of the month, this will always be a 1, so I'm just going to put a 1. So again, I have my date formula. This is referencing the year, and because I want it to be flexible, I'm just referencing another cell that has my year in it that automatically updates. Now I have my comma, then I have 1 for my specific month, which is January, and then I have a comma and 1 for the specific day because it's always going to be the first of the month. And then I'm going to put in my right bracket and hit enter. Don't worry, you will not see this again. I have this as part of my spreadsheet, so don't worry. You won't see that. Okay, so now we've got my actual date in there. It's going to show as January 1st, 2026. Now what I want to do is to make January 2nd, 3rd, all the way to the 31st. And it's super easy to do. So I'm going to go into the next cell below it. I'm going to do equals. I'm going to reference, so I'm going to click on the cell above because that's where my very first date is. And then I'm going to do the plus sign and then 1. So that's really saying, hey, January 1st plus 1 equals January 2nd. Now I'm going to hit enter, And there you go. This says January 2nd. So if I double click on it, you can see it says January 2nd, 2026. Now I can select this cell. Because I did not lock in this cell reference with those dollar signs, I didn't lock it in. If I just select this cell and use that magical blue dot and pull it all the way down, it will automatically copy that formula, but update each row. So that way it shows the new date. So now as you can see, this says January 3rd, January 4th, January 5th. So that all automatically updates. So now what I want to do is I'm going to, in the second column, because I want to have this show as the weekdays, in order to do that, we just need to make sure that this is the same dates. And it's super easy to do. We're just going to reference that cell. So I'm going to double click into my box here. Let me just zoom in a bit so we can see it a little bit better. Whoa, there we go. All right, so I'm just going to double click in here. I'm going to do the equal sign, and I want to reference this cell here because, again, this has the correct date. I want it to be the exact same date. We're just going to update it a bit. So I'm just going to select that cell and hit enter. So this is giving me an autofill. I'm just going to X out of it. You can obviously click the check mark to make sure that it does that, but I'm just going to get rid of that, for example. And so as you can see here, now it says January 1st, 2026 in a different format. So this is just showing the one. This is showing January 1. So same date, just formatted a little bit differently. But all that is it's copying exactly what's in this cell. So now what I can do is select this cell where I just added in that new date and copy it all the way down. Because I didn't lock in those references, it's automatically going to pull in. So this will be the second because it's copying this cell. This is the third because it's copying this cell. And there you go. So very simple, easy to do. Now what we're going to do is just change the formatting because obviously we just want to show the dates here and then the days of the week here. So I'm going to select my very first column. So I'm selecting the first cell, holding the shift key, grabbing the very last cell within my range here. And then I'm going to go to Format, Number, and then under Custom Date and Time, this is where you can edit it all out. I just wanted to literally show the number, so I'm just going to delete everything that's in here and then come to my arrow and click on day. And you can make sure that it says you're either a 0, 5, or a 5, doesn't matter. Whatever preference you like, and then click apply. So as you can see, it now shows as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 31. But when you click on the cell, it actually shows the date. So it will show as a date, not just as a plain number. So if you're ever creating anything like this, where I highlight only the weekend dates, that's how I did it, is making sure that these are real dates instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4. So it can reference what's a weekend and what's not. Okay, so now for this one, we want to format it so it only shows a short form of the day of the week. So I'm going to select the first cell, holding the shift key. I'm going to grab the last cell, and then we're going to go up to Format, Number, Custom Date and Time. And again, you could delete everything out, or you can choose something from here, but I'm just going to start from fresh. I'm going to click on the arrow, click on the day, click on this arrow here, and then just do day as abbreviation and click apply. So as you can see, this now all updates and looks lovely. Perfect. Okay, I'm quite happy with the way that looks. That's done. I will just have to change some formatting so that way we don't have these weird borders in it. But that's how you do it. Super simple. You're just creating the two different columns of dates, but it's all based off of this specific. So if I change, so my example here, I'm just going to come over here, change this to 2027, go back to my year one. So as you can see, it now says 2027, and 2027 January 1st starts on a Friday versus 2026. Now if I undo that, it shows just 2026. You can see it started on a Thursday. So it automatically updates based off of the year. So let's quickly do February because February doesn't have as many days. So now, again, I'm going to go to my very first cell. I'm going to do equals date. We're going to, again, choose the year. So wherever you have the year, whether you want to write it or if you're referencing a different cell, you want to lock that cell reference in if you do have it. Then you want to do comma. Then you want to do, the month would be 2 because it's for February, so 2, comma, and then the first day, so 1. And then a right bracket and hit enter. So again, this will, even though it just says a 1, it says February 1st, like that. It knows it's February 1st of 2026 because that's what this cell is. So now I'm just going to copy that all the way down. Oh, sorry. No, don't copy it all the way down. I forgot the second step. You're going to go to the second cell, equals. Select the very first cell, +1, and then hit enter. Now we could take the second cell and copy it all the way down. So don't worry, you might make the same mistake I just did and just copy this first one down. You just need to make sure when we're doing it with the actual first column that you do it where it's equals, referencing the first cell, +1. We don't lock in this cell reference. We're not locking it in with the $signs, just leaving it as is, +1, and that allows us to use the magical blue dot and pull it all the way down. But as you can see, now we have a few extra dates. So now I can delete those out because we don't need them. But yeah, now what we're going to do is come up here, we're going to do equals, and then we're going to reference this cell with the date in it, hit enter. We have autofill, but I don't need that. I'm just going to select my first cell and use the magical blue dot to pull it all the way down. Now again, this formatting was already set up, but if you needed to, you would just select the cells, and then you go to format, number, custom date and time, or you could choose one of the most recent ones if you needed to, but you would just change out there and make it so that it shows just numbers here and then the short form of the weekday here. And that's how you do it. Super simple, easy, and then you would do it for each of the different months. I think that's it. If you have any other questions on how to make a vertical calendar or anything else you want to learn, let me know. Thank you so much. Don't forget, I do have a freebie. If you want to learn more about Google Sheets, I have a free mini course that I will link below called the Wild Heart Spreadsheet Academy. You will learn how to create a really cute weekly planner, as well as there's a free custom GPT in there to help you plan out your first few spreadsheets. So check that out. The link's below. Thank you. Bye.